rock. Yeah. So that's what I've been doing these days. I've been painting birdhouses, and I'm doing my rock painting. Um, whoops. That's a Hindu sign. I have some butterflies, and I'm waiting for this to dry. It's a ladybug, and I have some little bird houses. I have a garden. I have two pollinator gardens, and I'm thinking about what the next season's going to bring me. Two pollinator gardens in my development, and it started out as a vegetable garden, but due to the soil quality and the temperature that we have here, and the soil underneath, which is very wet, there is not a lot of vegetables that you can grow. So I turned it into a pollinator garden, and that's what I did last summer. I have two gardens, and I turned it into a pollinator garden for the bees, the butterflies, the hummingbirds, and the regular birds. But the regular birds are sort of like um, big birds, and they ruin a lot of things for the little birds. So that's what my two gardens are, and I am going to plan out my garden for this coming season for the spring, and that keeps me busy all summer. Last summer, I spent most of my day out in the garden, maybe 6 hours a day. And if it wasn't just working in the garden, it was sitting in the garden, it was talking to friends out there, talking to other gardeners about the garden, learning things. I have a shed out there. I manage a shed. One of the lady shed masters on shed 4. So that's one of my garden responsibilities. So I clean up some of the stuff that people don't want to clean up after their equipment that they use, such as wheelbarrows or rakes, or because we have a community shed we have 5 sheds, and each person is assigned to a shed, and responsibility is to maintain it throughout the year. The the equipment, the wheelbarrows, the rakes, the shovels, and stuff like that. So that's a fun thing to do. But I just started learning how to paint on rocks, and you can learn through tutorials through YouTube, which I'm learning. And right now on YouTube, I'm learning how to paint a bumblebee. So that's kind of fun. And that's what I'll be doing for the rest of the winter until springtime comes. And then I'll be working on my garden, getting that started. Painting. I have my one garden that has a red gate. It's my Zen garden. So that's the theme of that garden. And then I have my middle garden, which is my sunflowers and my zinnias. That's my other garden. And then I co-op with my Zen garden. I share with my friend Charlotte. She has the other side of the garden that I let her plant some vegetables and stuff, whatever she wants to do. So that's kind of fun. Um, anyway, so that's what I do all summer long, and that's what I'm going to be doing this summer probably. I might be looking for a part-time job. And then I've been doing a lot of thinking, setting up some ideas. I had this fantasy of getting a van and traveling, doing the what you call the gypsy caravan. There are a lot of people that travel and live in their vans, or live in their motorhomes, or live in their cars, or just live a simple life. And that's my dream. That's my dream. My husband and I, we downsized. We've been living in this over 55 community, living in this area, in this development, for it'll be 8 years in June, and we decided to downsize from an actual big house with all those responsibilities that come with a house, and downsize and live a more modest life, and enjoy the benefits and the social activities that a 55 active 55 and over community can bring. And I participated in a lot of things. I belong in a couple clubs, and I just joined a couple of new exercises. I pickleball, and I might be playing some tennis in the summer. In the spring, I might join the tennis club. I joined the environmental club, the garden club, and yeah, so I'm pretty active that way. Of course, I do have to get a job in February when we come back from traveling. So those are the kind of things that I'm looking forward to do. I have my lunch here, which is I ate a can of tuna fish and one egg, and I put it in the broiler, and I make it sort of like a tuna fish bake. And then I had it, one avocado. I ate an avocado, and that's going to be OMAD today, hopefully. That's my goal. Trying to keep the food beast away. I find that with my lap band, even though it's unfilled, when I go do fasting for a couple days, I tend to get really tight. And so that's a good thing because that keeps the food beast away. Of course, my mental side, the mental food beast wants me to eat. And my lap band is doing its job if I pay attention to it, whether or I choose to pay attention to it. Sometimes I don't pay attention to it. And I eat those slider foods and stuff. I haven't had any yogurt, which is a slider food, and it's one of my comfort foods. And I've been avoiding that. And I lost 5 pounds so far of my regain. So I'm working on another 15 pounds, and it's slowly coming off, but I have to avoid all the foods that I like, and the fatty foods, the sugars, the slider foods, the chips, and anything else that activates this food beast. The more bland you keep, the more bland diet you keep, the unpalatable things, the more sugar I eat seems to activate this ghrelin in my head, ghrelin in my stomach. Yeah, so these are the kind of things that I'm working on. And if I find that if I pay attention to these things, the weight comes off. So I'm just trying to get back down to my comfort zone and what makes me feel good. Um, and I'm just working that way for the next couple weeks. We'll be going to Florida. We'll be going to South Carolina, and I still want to maintain everything that I've been doing. I'm not going off plan. I'm going to be cooking on our vacation. We usually don't eat out a lot. My focus is not on food anymore. I sort of like put the food beast away and tucked it away for a while, and I'm so happy about that. So yeah, so my idea is to keep the food beast away because I know the food beast can come out if I eat inappropriately, and then I become back in that downward spiral where I'm all crazy and I get down on myself and I hate looking at myself, and I say negative things about myself, and it's just not a very positive thing that I get in the funk with. So to keep me out of that funk, I've learned the rules and the regulations that I have to abide by if I want to stay healthy and happy and in a positive headspace. So yeah, so once in a while I flip through my books, my vision books that I've had through the years, and I think about the positive things that have happened to me. That's when I was training for Ironman. When I think back how far I've come, I've really honed in on some positive reinforcements that I know, and I don't want to have those inflammation back. That was inflammation in my legs. It came back in 2016 when I had a health crisis, and I was really in a lot of pain for 2016. 2017, I made my way out again. Um, and I'm just going to move forward. That's in the past, and I'm moving on with that. And that's the way I look at things now. I try not to ruminate on the past too much, and what was me, and how to regain, and yeah, I did, but that's life. That's life, and you just have to push through it. Just don't keep on that sabotage path and try to work yourself out of it, which I did, and I'm really happy about that. So I'm still taking the phentermine as I need it in my bewitching hour when I tend to snack, which is after 6 o'clock. And luckily I have that tool. Makes sense to spend $20 with for 2 months of phentermine than spending $6,000 for a revision in Mexico, and it's money that I don't have. And I don't have any medical insurance. So if I did have revision in Mexico, I don't have any medical insurance that when I got back to the States, if I did have a complication from surgery in Mexico, I don't have any medical insurance here now that would possibly help me in case of an emergency. So, not that Mexico is a great tool for people that can't afford surgery in the United States, or they can't, for some reason or another, they can't have weight loss surgery in the United States. A lot of people have been successful in Mexico. But for right now, I'm going the phentermine route. It seems to be working for me, and I'll just keep working, working. And my lap band does work, even though it's unfilled. It still stops me from restriction, still stops me eating, and I have to chew my food, else I PB, and I have to eat slowly, and I have to watch the texture, and I have to watch what I eat, of course, and then I have to do my fitness, which is my fitness tool is